This is a CCU work session meeting for the GPA. For the record, those present are myself, Commissioner Gimchalco, Commissioner Sanchez, and Commissioner Martinez. And John, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today I have three resolutions for your consideration for this meeting. The first resolution is 2022-20. This is to authorize us to enter into an extension of the lease agreements with TriStar for the pipeline agreement and the storage tank lease agreements. Again, TriStar is the sole provider of these services to us, and the pipeline agreement and the storage agreement both expire on August 31st, 2022. And we have negotiated for an extension of the two agreements for up to 3 years. If you recall, we'll be phasing out all of these tanks. The pipeline agreement certainly will still be there because we still have to bring in ultra low sulfur, but the storage tanks will be phased out within the next 2 to 3 years once we convert everything to ultra low sulfur diesel. No? The pipeline agreement, again, price is the same at the $566,350 per year. So the total is for the 3-year extension is about $1.699 million. The estimate for the RO4 storage is actually also for 3 years, but the estimate is for the first year will be about $2.2 million. And again, I'm just rounding out some numbers here, Mr. Chairman. The
Sure.
total numbers are there. And for the second year, 2.2, and then for the for the first year is 2.8, the second year is 2.2, and the third year is 2.2 also. And again, this is because we are going to be releasing some tanks because we have now stopped delivery of high sulfur fuel. And we're actually cleaning out this one tank to bring in the 0.2%. So then as we move forward towards the end of the year, we're going to be burning out all the 1.19% low sulfur fuel, so that by the end of the year, we'll be in compliant and have to be in compliant by December 31st to burn 0.2% sulfur at Caverns. No?
So John, we lease these tanks from TriStar, right?
Yes.
So are they the ones doing the clean outs? That's all part of these fees that
Yep.
they be charging us, and any changes in the use of those tanks over the life of this agreement?
Right.
That's on their side. That's what we're paying them.
That's
from.
right. Some of the cleaning we use the diesel and everything because we get the product back. That may be a separate issue with the tanks and all that.
Okay.
So we do have to clean the big tank that's going to hold the 0.2%, because it has like as you've seen in the other tanks, it has about 10 inches of sludge that has to be cleaned and all that. So we have to clean it so then we can store the 0.2 uncontaminated, and then that's the fuel that we'll be using at Caverns until we get to retirement. So again, the total for the 3 years is about $9 million, which again is not additional cost to today. It's what it's what
It's just extension.
It's just an extension of the thing.
Leasing the tanks forever.
Yeah.
And again, as we had noted, it is about $6 million or so per year that our cost reduction once we get to just our 2 tanks to store ultra low sulfur diesel. Because if you recall, they were also leasing two diesel tanks up there to serve PD8 and 9 until our main tanks have been all rehabilitated and done. No? So again, that would be the first resolution, Mr. Chair, for your consideration.
Any questions?
On Tuesday.
No? Okay. Straightforward.
The second item is on the dock. Again, we have a dock facility user agreement. These are the 3 components for delivery, and again, this dock agreement will be there even after we've converted everything. The annual fee is 1.924, and again for 3 years is about 5.8 million. This fee is also this fee is still the same. unless, again, this contingency is unless Port Authority increases this fee, because they pass it on. But other than that, this is a fee that we pay to both the port and we pay through TriStar, and they pay the port. No? So that's resolution 2022-23. Mr. Chair, it's really straightforward. If there's any question, I'll answer now. If not, I can do that again Tuesday.
Okay. Next.
And then, JB, this will continue though throughout, whether or not we're storing with TriStar or not, we still need to pay them for the dock fees as well as the pipeline to pump it through, right? So when you have Ukudu's storage tank as well as the 2 refurbished down at Cabras, you'll move away from storage, but you'll still need these transport fees, F1.
That's correct. We may at some point after that start looking whether we can negotiate some of these fees, no? Because our pipeline usage now will be only from the dock to the tanks, versus right now it's really utilizing also all the way up to TriStar and all of that. So there might be some opportunities to negotiate at that point.
And then the transport fees, you'll self-perform or you'll potentially subcontract out from Ukudu storage tank for distribution to the other plants?
Yes, we typically do that with for example, in this case, we will, just be transportation. Before we will always go by Mobile and then they deliver. IP&E and they deliver. Our contract really is with Mobile, and so they will now provide us to our tanks. We will pump it up to Ukudu, and we put a loading dock there, and that would be only the expense now as they truck it.
Transport.
And at this point, it could be again open up. It doesn't have to be just 2 entities. It could be other entities, that can deliver the oil as needed.
But those other plants will be almost like just standby.
Yep, they won't be running as they. I hope that they never have to run again like they're doing today. No.
Yeah.
Because again, they're just going to be on standby. And typically, those tanks have enough, for several days or weeks at a time. No?
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, the last one, John.
Last resolution, again, this is the joint resolution,
this is the joint
Mr. Chair, between GPA and JWA for the establishing of the Utility Customers Care Representative, a series to allow for, again, training and then seniority and the supervision. And I totally support this. This is something that we have been wanting to do for all these years. And of course, technology has changed for these individuals. It's no longer just, this is really, they're a lot more broader and they're able to help the customer better. So I think it's an appropriate.
The only thing, John, is when we were doing GWA, I don't know, Tracy, if you heard what I said, that we also need to look into training programs for our people, so that we can give them some training so that they can move up in these positions and better themselves.
Yes, so Mr. Chair, before the audit, we will do an assessment.
Okay.
And through those assessments, which we're hoping to have mostly done by a third party who we already have on board, that will help identify the training needs for those employees, existing employees that would like to be trained up. Additionally, we do have a regular onboarding training process.
Okay, good.
Thank you for that.
Very good.
And then furthermore, I think this will now start leading to the eventual one customer service rep servicing both utilities. No?
Yeah.
So that's all I have in the resolutions for tonight, Mr. Chair. I do want to go quickly through my GM report. There are some very significant information there that I think the Commission would be interested in. First of all, again, the reserve margin, there's nothing really changed. The demand is still expected to be there. Our reserve is still down to like 1 baseload unit. But again, the weather has been helping. The machines have been running and all of that. And again, PD number 8 conversion, I'll show you, is nearing completion. And then after that, we're gonna shut down number 9 before July 31st and convert it so that we never run RFO beyond July 31st. So technically, we're in compliance with the consent decree. Again, the generation and the peak demand are basically still following close to 2022, no? And nearing the 2019, except for again this month, and where typically in July you see a higher load, but now there's a lot of more rain coming in this period of time, no?
And your hotels are still.
This is again, it's not like we've been short of things. We've had, Cabras 1 and Cabras 2, you have a tube leak, we take it down, we repair it, we bring it up. We don't normally announce all of these things, but again, this is how the challenge that we have, and we continue to address it. We all know that the units are aged, and so we do our best to get it back as quickly as possible. But here in the conversion for PD8, I'll show you some pictures, but basically we'll work waiting anytime now. I might be on the line tonight, from what I understand, but certainly within the next few days, no? Yeah.
This afternoon,
Yep. And then again, like I said, by July 31st, we'll wait around a few days to make sure that 8 is stabilized, because again, they're changing all the fuel system, they're actually changing the lubricator and all of that, so that we will save some money with a better lubricating system. And so that's all going to happen, and everything goes well, and then we'll take the number 9 down by the end of the month, and then proceed on that. Our major overhaul for Cabras number 2, we moved it to the middle of October. Again, that would be actually better. It's away from the higher peak days, but also it's really trying to get all the visas and everybody to come in here to do the repair, to do the overhaul. Do want to open up the turbine, to make sure everything is fine, so that at least it can last another year and a half. You don't want something breaking down there, and stuff. So next. Net metering, there's been a little jump, up 10, 15 here. Just in the past 2 months. I guess that could be expected with the higher, the higher costs and all of that. But again, it's just an expansion. So we do have almost about 48 customers generating about 29 megawatts of capacity. Next. Here's your fuel. If you notice, there has been a down click a little bit, but again, it's still not significant. As you can see, we started down here, almost straight up, but here is the difference. We're not going to be using we're not using anymore the black here, which is the high sulfur. We're now in the red and the green. That's the type of fuel that we will be burning moving forward. So it went down to 96, 95 like 2 or 3 days ago. Now it's up to 102 again. So this, it's still at least moderating. So hopefully, I hope it goes back down. But again, right now it hasn't changed anything really in terms of our rates and all of that. So again, the PUC did approve effective July 1st, 25 cents. And September 1st, 29, and then we'll look in October, November for the next phase, and adjust it as necessary. No?
John, is that, we went from 21 to 25, right, on July 1, right? And now we're going to go up another 4 cents on September. Is there any indication that September 1 number can be adjusted downwards?
Not at this point.
Not at this point.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. But the third increment we requested, that's what they want to hold off on.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. So it may have to go up to a little bit, but right now, it's still, there's still really no. It's not like the gas stations, right? They go up and then they come down. But again, we really buy our fuel, every month and a half.
We delayed
Yeah, we delayed
raising it for a long
And so we're still using fuel that we bought, and all that.
Just you're getting a lot of rate shock now.
Yep.
And it's about to get repeated September 1st. And the market's stabilizing, but you're right, it's still at $100 plus. And-
Yeah, I hope
and
we
we're behind.
find a way to
What's our
bring it
under?
down. Yeah.
Well, John, one of you will talk about the under recovery. We can do it later in the meeting or Tuesday. You just update us on the under recovery and the projected
Yeah,
under
we
recovery.
can
Yes,
do that.
we're about 42.7 million right now.
Under recovery.
Yes.
Okay, which is what we're just
42.7.
43 million. Okay,
Yeah,
which
43
is why
million.
these numbers are going up, is to get that number back down.
Yep.
Yes.
And then even let us know Tuesday, with these adjustments, what your projected under recovery would be after the September adjustment. Just, you can let us know Tuesday.
Yeah, yes, yes.
The other thing is we're also buying the other fuels.
Yeah, the more expensive fuel,
Yeah.
that's the other headache.
So it's really like it's like a perfect storm. It just happened all in one time, but
Well, I'm glad they're gonna meet again in October,
Yeah.
to take a look at it, because, it's right before the election. I look forward to running for re-election right after they adjust the rate in October.
I was talking about that, it's just
on Bill
Timing is
3, on Bill 301, of course, that's been passed, the public law. So the only thing they're waiting now is the air permit for the financial closing. The air permit is due any time now because they already had the public hearing, everything, no comments. So again, they're just reviewing it and should be issuing the air permit soon. So we expect financial closing, the release of all the money to be coming shortly. Again, here's Bill 325. That's the $500 funding for residential, given about $100 amount per account. And again, we've explained to the legislature our different accounts, broke it up, commercial, residential. So it's really up to them what they would do. Public hearing is tomorrow at 2:00 p.m. So
The
they
public
might.
hearing or the session?
I'm sorry, the emergency session.
Yeah, you had the
is
hearing.
tomorrow at 2:00, and they make call the committee of the whole, but we're providing them as much information as we can
Was
get.
there any negative testimony?
Anybody not
support
want
it?
Already said we should do water, but like they said, yeah, but they actually the comments from the administration is they're waiting for the rate to be passed. So then they can help on the water side. I think that's what they were trying to say.
Water's been delayed for over a year now. They haven't even made a decision.
So that's what they're kind of saying at this time. Okay, again, we're preparing to implement it as quickly as possible. No? So our team has been working on this since way last week already. No?
John, when you testified, do they need to, sometimes I worry about, sometimes they can over-legislate by being too specific. I like the way you explain. It's easy for a single-family residential unit. You got a meter, you get the $100. It's the condominiums, the multiple meter facilities, right? And my understanding and the way I heard you was basically, if you have a meter, whether it's consolidated through your condominium association or not, you're going to get a $100 credit. If you're paying a separate power bill to either to us or through your condominium association. And then you had suggested, which I thought was a great idea too, that if you have if you're an association of meters, that as long as you're certifying exactly how it's set up, GPA knows how these are all set up anyway.
And that's what the legislature has to also decide on. No? They have to tell us that we're going to do that, or we're just going to give $100 to that 1 meter that has 200 accounts. No.
So that's why I'm afraid
Yeah.
of when that's why I'm hopefully that with you there, that they either pass exactly what you were describing, or give us the discretion to implement it in the way you described it, right?
So I think that has been brought out vetted out, and we've given them the numbers. Because my concern is that we wanted to make sure that there's adequate appropriation to address even this. They can't come back later and say like this and like that, and have to go back in and amend the appropriation. So we asked for, give them the higher number, and then we will.
Which includes those multiple units.
Yes, and we're giving them an SOP and so that everybody are on the same page. DOA and us are on the same page. We give you the estimated number here. You pay us, then we'll throw it up at the end. We keep doing this the same way. because we need the funds before we can credit into
And
accounts.
we're gonna create a line on the bill to
Yeah.
show the credit so that everybody sees it.
It could be one line, it could be two lines, whatever, and we've also given them, what do you want to say here? No? That's fine. Phase 3 solar, bad news, really, through no fault of our own, 2 years delay. This is the part of our procurement process, protest, give every right, but at the end of the day, this is a multi-million-dollar loss to the island community. They can't continue with the pricing that they have provided, which was 11 cents a kilowatt hour. And secondly, it's very risky for them to even try to even offer us a price, no? So I had a telephone call with them. We agreed to, okay, we just let it go.
So they're gonna withdraw their bid, NGS.
No, we're canceling the bid. So they're not doing anything else. So we're canceling.
We're canceling the bid at the request of the winning bidder, NG, right?
We're canceling the bid because the winning bidder is not gonna put in a price anymore. They don't want to continue. Yeah.
JB, there's no provisions that you could go to the next qualified bidder?
But it's been so long.
They'd have
The
to
conditions are the same for everybody. This one is 11, that was 13 to 15 cents. So
Just
to
put it out
me,
for bid again?
we just go out and proceed again. But there's also a second issue, is that, and again, the national defense issue, where they're looking to place the missile system in the best location. Well, one of the locations that we're looking at is NCS Panigagat. So I said, hold on a minute, I didn't know about that, but I said, look, we have a commitment to do community this solar for the benefit of both the military and GPA. So I'm having a meeting with them next week, Mr. Chair. You're welcome to meeting with the Admiral for some discussions on this, and maybe in lieu, if that's the best location, in lieu of that, are there any other locations that perhaps, so we don't know what may come out of it, but at least we're going to have a discussion on it, no? So then if we're not going to have the leased lands, well, at least we know, right? But right now, again, that's what happened now. Everything got all of the...
Yeah. But is there a possibility for an alternative site? Maybe not the one previously?
Yeah, we're hoping, and at least we're hoping that perhaps even at minimum, there's that one at Nebo Station that might still be available. But it looks like they're honed in, on the NCS site.
Because that's gonna be one of our challenges. I know you wanna go up to 400 megs, is finding more sites, whether we find it or the private partner finds it. We're running out of sites, right, for the utility scale.
I think there's still quite a bit of sites for the utility scale for them, but you're correct in that we have to look at all the potentials and see if there are alternatives, again, as part of the 400. But I think we can still go out, and then before the next one, the next series, we have some other ideas to it, because again, we did look, and we have an inventory of government. We have an inventory, so I have an idea of how much sites are out there.
Or we provide the site and just have the bidder put the
And so that's something that we can consider further. No? But right now, for the next bid, I think you
This
still
one,
the owner.
you see it as the
Yeah.
prior bids, the private partner will find the site
Yeah.
and bid on it.
Yep, we just have to make some adjustments to the bid, and our team has just
But there's no way, everything I've seen, there's no way solar plus storage is gonna equal 29 cents a kilowatt hour, like fuel is equaling.
Yeah.
Even with all the challenges of the solar industry and the supply chain and all that, it's not like 11's gonna go to 29, which is where the LEACs go on in a few months.
No.
It'll go up, it'll go
If
up.
they're going to come in with that 29, they might as well save
Why
their.
would we do it? But-
Don't even go in and bid.
But I don't think that's where the industry's at, even
Yeah.
though they're going through
No.
they're burping a little bit.
No, I think it'll be competitive. I think we're looking at various ways how we can take things like transmission lines or other things out of the equation, if possible, so that it keeps their costs low, makes it easier for them to bid, and just concentrate on their business at hand. And so there's many things that we're gonna do as we move forward. No? Just it takes a lot of effort right now, and we're just managing the after effects of the changes, no?
Yeah, John?
Huh? Yes, Mr. Chair.
Maybe if we could have our legal counsel. You know, this experience where we lost the phase 3 because of the protest, maybe we could come up with some proposed legislation that we can work on. Take to our senators and let's say, you know, if there's a protest, the person protesting has to put something down that's substantial. You know, because right now, all they're out is whatever they pay as a attorney. Cost them nothing to protest.
Yep.
We know this. But really, we're dealing in such big numbers that a delay like this, what happened here is we put out a bid, we awarded the bid, but the problem is we don't have a contract yet. And they protest and protest. So that lets the other party say, well, you know, my price was 2 years ago, and if I had gone out then and bought the panels I needed and done all the work I needed, I would have been done.
Yep.
But so I'm serious. Graham, you need to look at that and come up with some idea of a bill that we can take to the legislature and say, we lost out on this. The bid was 11 cents a kilowatt hour. You know,
There's quite a bit of things that need to be looked at in the perspective of the models that we're going forward now.
Yeah.
You know, because even like say local preference and stuff, you know?
That's
That's
another
a
one.
big amount, 15%. That could be as much as $1.5 million or $2 million a year, you know, of a preference.
Yeah.
Which could be, you know, could still be adjusted, but not based on, you know, the annual contract. So
Yeah.
things like that can be looked at and stuff. So
That's my
yes, I
suggestion.
think-
You need to have
Yes.
some thoughts
Yep.
that you can bring back to us. Let's
Yep.
discuss it. And then let's maybe proffer a bill into the legislature and say, we need your help.
We'll do that, Mr. Chair. Next one, the good news, KEPCO again is being commissioned tomorrow. However, we are already begun saving as of June 20. We're buying energy from that plant at 8.5 cents a kilowatt hour. Our LEAC is 25 cents. So right now we're saving, based on the average production, about $2 million a month from that facility. So in 1 year, $24 million based on the minimum generation of about 141 million kilowatt hours per year. That amount of energy is the equivalent consumption of the average resident of an average residential customer, 14,000 of our average residential customer. So again, it's a big impact right off the bat, you know. So again, yes, it'll be commissioned and here it is 250,000 barrels is what the less import is going to be required annually now because of this new KEPCO plant. So 250, you know, times whatever $100 a barrel, there's your 25 million. Yep. Next, the new power plant again. We've given you an outline of, we like to keep track of all the things that have been completed so we don't miss anything. Even the 41 megawatt here, I mentioned agreement on way forward because of increased contracting costs. We're still negotiating that or trying to come up with an alternative to this. So again, this is because we kind of, you know, we didn't get the legislation in time to make this happen. And stuff, but I'll go to the end here. Really, what's very I'm sorry, dear, back up. What's very important is again the groundbreaking ceremony is tomorrow, beginning at 9 o'clock at the Latte Hotel. Tomorrow at 9. So again, I don't want you to be surprised, but it's a pleasant surprise if you are. When you do go out there, you're not just going to see dirt. You're going to see already things that have been graded, some foundations that have already been laid. So, you know, it was great that we kept, and KEPCO and the team and our team kept the project going, getting building permits, getting things done, even while we are heading towards financial closing. And part of that is because they had equity. Yeah. They had to put in equity, so they used the equity to begin all these different projects. So the financial closing now will just release all the money and all of that. So again, I think we'll start seeing action, and you start seeing pieces of equipment, big pieces coming in here next month or the month after. And again, they're all heading up to Okudo. So here's some pictures, Mr. Chair, again, we can see.
Nice.
Next.
Okay.
I won't go through all of them. The pipeline, quiet, but it's being done. Cleaning it out already. Next, there's starting to dig, putting in the underground pipelines.
Wow.
So again, all of these things already have been happening, throughout this period of time. Limit Hill next. So again,
These were previously above ground, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So these are going down.
Now they're all underground?
They're using the same easement, but
Same
instead of being
easement,
above
everything.
ground, that's underground.
Nice.
This is what helped speed up the permitting. Oh no, you still had to excavate, so you still needed to go through the
The
same.
problem we
permit.
had, what delay and potentially could have been a further delay, but at the time, Shippo really helped. See, Luan, Patrick, and the team to really helping us trying to get through this as quickly as possible. So, in the beginning it was like pulling bear, but now I think things have rolled through, so we're able to
Pulling bear.
pulling, I don't, whatever,
Well, you're right.
you know what I mean, right?
Because we could pulling our teeth isn't as hard.
I guess pulling a bear would
That's
be
it.
difficult.
Well, yeah, you're putting it that way. I think you're correct. Okay, next. Okay, our utility customer service has been signed. So again, the Navy is a customer for another 10 years. I just want to note, as I mentioned, Mr. Chair, this has been since our first Power Pool agreement in 1972. I noticed that
50
it's
years.
now 50 years since we've been partners or customer. Navy been a customer.
Partners
30
are
years
now
since we've been the
customers.
sole
30
provider.
since they were sole provider. So, I mean, if you recall that, again, this is talking about another beer, right? This was the early
Carabao.
stages, but now it's one really, we really do have an excellent relationship, as was noted by the
And it
team.
shows their confidence in the systems.
Yes.
I mean, the military could build their own system, and they have decided, they were a co-provider 50 years ago, but for the last 30 years, they've been a customer. And they'd rather be our customer, and they trust GPA to provide them the level of service they need at the price. And they're re-upping, which is a testament to all of you, management and leadership,
we-
and that
And
this
John-
customer is a happy ratepayer that wants another 10 years of a relationship with the Guam Power Authority.
And John was pushing with the military that we can do more improved service for them.
Yep.
Let's do more. So he put that in, and
So
he
that's
said,
part of the agreement, again, to continue dialoguing and,
Yeah.
and finding out. We did show them our dispatch control center where, again, a lot may not believe, but we know whenever a meter goes out there, we know we just hold into your home, we can see what's there. No?
Just show them that no matter where they put that missile defense system, if you have solar over where NG used to be, their power bill will go down. It won't really matter where they put that damn thing, 'cause it only takes one hit here.
Okay,
And then everything will be out.
next. The conversion, again, I'm just going to go through to show you
Hopefully
just
we're
some
done by
pictures. Again, here, they have to put the catalyst there. Again, this is a part, not only cleaning the air from ultra low sulfur diesel, but also the dioxides. No, next.
Busy, Melinda. Very good.
Here's the again, just busy work here, there. They've been. This is where the $14 million is going into. No, next.
And we got that money, was that from the claim, from the insurance?
From the self-insurance
Yeah,
fund.
yeah.
Not the self,
From the
Cameras
accident.
3 and
From the
4,
accident.
settlement,
Accident,
yeah.
Still
Yeah,
read
we-
baloney that say, it's.
we receive 125 million, and again, that's helped us here. It's helped us with the rehabilitation of the storage tanks and other things. Next, homogenizer. Next.
What is this, JP? What is a homogenizer? What is
Make
it?
milk.
I think it's a supplement you add to the gas to be able. And I don't really know the full thing. I will get the thing.
Did I
You know,
actually
yeah.
stump your
Yeah.
50 years of knowledge?
Oh, no, this,
Melinda,
no, no, no.
The costs are easier, usage of the fuel in the system and better efficiency. So we already had a homogenizer in cameras 3 and 4 for the dense fuel, right? The heavy fuel. And now that we have ultra low sulfur, it needs another kind of treatment before it goes into the engine. That just adds to that.
Just so it can combust more efficiently?
Right. And then it's not going to get stuck in the engine, and it's going to be more efficient.
And protect your SCR, because that's expensive.
What, okay, it protects the SCR.
Yeah. Diesel fuel, again, so we have to, again, here we're doing half and half, right? We're isolating diesel, and then the other side is still an RFO until we can take number 9 down, right? Next. This is the balance of work, and again here, what did I say here? Begins July 19, which is today.
So today at 2 o'clock, we will
Yeah.
ready fill the tanks, and they'll start.
Then they'll go through
And then it'll have a program.
running in program, testing, everything like that.
So does the new conversion, does it have like some sort of like ECU that you can see the, you know, the efficiency of the motor if there's a problem? Like how do you, when you turn it on, how do you diagnose whether it's running correctly?
So we put in a new distributed control system, so we'll be able to see the emissions, we'll be able to see the efficiency, how much fuel is coming in, the output in watt hours. So we'll be able to see all of that to make sure that we're compliant.
I like to take a tour of it at one point in time when it's ready. That'd be cool.
So, you know, the estimate is about 16.3 kilowatt hours per gallon versus the 17.9 before. And the only reason for that really is because 1 gallon, 1 barrel of RFO has 6.3 million BTUs, and 1 barrel of diesel is only 5.7 million. So now we're getting less BTUs per barrel, more expensive fuel, and lower efficiency. So this is all this, but it gives you clean air and all of that. And then, again, this is where, again, by getting the new Okodo power plant with a much higher efficiency, all of this extra cost is actually offset and it still save money. See? That's the whole, it's the total picture for us. No? Okay, so we're going to shut down number 9 by July 31st, no? And then we'll be compliant with the EPA. Next. Generation KPI, I think these are, you know, just gives you the historical. There's really nothing else there other than I've highlighted the name. Okay? Yep. And so I think that's, yep. So that's the major part of my presentation, Mr. Chair. So if there's another question I can answer at this point.
No, just make sure you know what a homogenizer is on Tuesday.
Oh, yes.
The only question I have is, I did on the Ukadu updates, I didn't see a revised timeline as to what's the projected commissioning date.
The projected commissioning date is, as the general manager has stated, April
Moving target.
2024.
April 2024.
There may be some thoughts that it will be July or whatever, but the GM has said April 2024. And then we will see, no? Yeah. And again, because of course there could be challenges ahead, right?
Yeah.
But I said November 2023, but no later than April 2024. So there have been schedules that come up like this and like that, and I said I don't want to see schedules, you know.
Yeah.
I just want to see April 2024.
And then the other question I had is regarding the financial close. I mean, they've already had the notice to proceed. They're already putting money into the ground. How does that tie into the financial close again?
The way the bid was structured, that the proponent has to put in 20% equity.
Oh, so that 20% equity is what they're spending now. Okay.
And then they're refinancing
Got it.
it, financing it. But they have to put more skin in the game, right?
Yeah.
Which is 20%. And that's what's got them going this way.
Got it.
And then now the balance of the money now for the heavy lifting installation is in this loan. So that's why they need to close it as soon as possible.
And we've closed all the loops on the questions about the laws, the legality of the lease, all of that. That's all done now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with NG pulling out, do we get a bid bond? Do we get some money out of that with them pulling out?
Never was the contract.
Oh, because we never negotiated the contract.
We've given them notice of intent to award subject to CCU and PUC. So before we could get to the CCU protests.
And then COVID and the delay and all that stuff, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
So
Just curious, the second most responsive bidder, was that the protester?
Well, I heard he was the
The
third.
third?
Well, he was the third, but then if you apply the 15% local preference, he claims to be second.
But he was, yeah, it's very sad. But everyone will get a chance to rebid them. I mean, you know, that's.
So, but
sure
I think part of it too is you obviously not accept potential for something to be another hit preference. If that guy had gotten it, then for succeeding bids, there would be a local preference, just like Amway now.
Yeah.
Would meet the local preference, right? You know, before there was just glide path only, so now there at least be glide path and Amway will meet the local preference.
Okay, well, it's good for ratepayers. Well, not necessarily, right? That's right.
that's the concern. Is typically the 15% is on buying a widget, buying a what you call it, a car. 15% of that 20,000 is. The year now is every year is a $9 million contract, right? So 15% difference.
$1 million a year.
It's $1.5 million a year times 20 years. That's $20.5 million. Is that how much the people want to pay for?
That's why I'm saying we deal with some things that are different. Our contracts are different. What we do is different. If we were just procuring supply, like, you know, that would be different, but we're not. We're just using stuff that lasts
Big numbers.
Let me ask for legal opinion on
And, you
that.
know, if somebody's got a protest, I think they should put some substantial.
Make it very
amount on
clear.
the table,
Because that
so that
doesn't
if they
seem
lose the
to.
protest, we get to get that
Yeah.
to help us, you know.
Okay, and so that's a good call, if between John and Graham, start thinking about, even if it's just to the utilities or something, given the magnitude of the risk, right? Is that, can we have some special provisions
For
for
these kind of-
protests, right? Because it's a big, and even the preference, right? Because at the end of the day, what we're learning is international companies that would win these bids, they just establish their Guam office and their presence. And in the case of Hanwha and some of these, you know, the fact that they've been here with other assets, man, that's sort of what you want. But it does create a huge it's not like, that incentive was created to help really, you know, local, or true local businesses, smaller businesses, right? But now an international company bidding on a $100 million, $200 million deal, it's easy, get a business license, hang around for 6 months, hire a local attorney, and you get local preference. But that 15% starts to make a really big
And we
difference.
might ask for an opinion on that to see whether does
Get
it
an
apply
opinion or
for.
cap it at,
Yeah.
if the deal's more than, I don't know, 50 million, 100 million,
I
or
don't know, something.
something like that, yeah.
Well, I'm sure we're not the only ones who have faced this.
No.
Somewhere else in the country, somebody.
Right.
Right here within Guam, just within agencies.
Yeah, you know, but, you know.
But in Guam, we're probably the biggest one, we're the biggest numbers.
Oh, yeah, but it's pervaded, the protests are pervaded throughout the government.
Yeah, but, you know, the way I look at it is, if we have a provision, for example, where somebody has to put real money down, on this last one, that, you know, where the guy comes back and says, look, my numbers have changed, we could have taken that money and say, here, let's help you with your numbers. If we're buying solar panels and you have to buy them at this price and you have price locked in, now the price is this. If we have a pot of money from the losing protester, say, okay, here's the money, we'll make up the difference. If you want to protest, you got to put skin in the game.
So there's two things. One is the cost of a protest, but the other thing that I'm thinking about is maybe any procurement over $50 million or some number. There's no local preference.
Yeah.
Because first off, the list of local companies that can bid on a 50 million anything is small, if anybody, right?
that's probably a good
And
point.
most of the time, Well, even Black Construction is affiliated with a big company in America, so they can win federal bids, so.
They're really local.
Yeah, it's not really local, and yet we give them a preference, so that, and it might be as simple as legislation that says above a certain level of dollar value in the procurement, there's no local preference. 'Cause we
But
know
I think
there's-
the time has come to do this.
Yeah, because it produces savings for taxpayers and ratepayers.
Ratepayers.
Yeah.
It's real hard on
So,
ratepayers.
so just planning ahead, no, I think by next month or no later than September, I will come to the commission with the next way forward, no? With all these changes that are occurring now and everything, if we move now, we can still, again, achieve the goals that we made for 2024, 2025, no? There's still that opportunity, even despite the changes like the NG project or whatever. So that's why I'll be bringing before the commission. Okay.
John Kim, do you have any big things to tell us?
No. We'll bring the
You'll
summary
give
on
us- Yeah,
this
you
day.
give us a number for the under recovery.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the statements in the
Yeah.
board's
We'll
books, we
look
can,
through, we'll look through the statements.
we can look
If you
at
have
it.
Any questions?
yep,
Last,
sounds good,
Tuesday.
sounds good, Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else, Commissioner? No. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
Thank you, Commissioner.
and we'll add